Good morning, everyone. This is Veronica. I'm out here just trying to do a demonstration of what everything that we would need in order to be successful at planting what is going to be planted. You have your containers, and we'll go over a lot of the containers and then uses. This keeps us from having to dig in the ground and just put your dirt into these. This big one here, I'll have to open it up later, but it has 36 pockets and it can be posted and um, nailed to either the wall or um, to this area here on the opposite side, um, with 36 pockets of different beauties coming out of it. You can also do inside potting or outside potting, which is basically what I'm going to be doing. I will be using a lot of different type of containers to keep from um, digging into the ground. Now, it's not that I cannot dig into the ground and go into the ground. It's just that right now I'm choosing not to go into the ground, but of course we have plenty of garden space, plenty of ground space here that can be worked, but right now that is not my goal. My goal is to get things seeded into their containers, and the things that don't need to be seeded, these pieces right here that have already come to root and everything, these need to go in their biggest pot or bigger pot in order for them to strive and putting them in the right place, in the right sun place. Now, these are some things that this is a plant that I put together last year with succulents, and so far it has done very, very, very well in its growth. So, some of your garden spaces, actually, if you see this container here, it's maybe about 2 inches thick. So it's not necessarily meaning that you need deep containers. You do for certain projects and for certain items, you do need deep containers. But for this here, this has worked and served very well. Now, as they continue to grow, then they may outgrow this unit and may have to be placed into a bigger one. Okay, but this is from last year, and you just have to just keep going at it. All right. So some of the candidates and which way we will start. In order to begin with, first you have to choose your seeds. And as you see that I do have my selected seeds already here. And this set of group of seeds will be placed into this container right here in order to be seeded. Now, the size of your garden is going to be very important. Mine is going to be very small, so 36 plants of one plant is for me too much. So I will be dividing these 36 up. Plus, I have 3 more. So it all depends on what I want to plant. Now we have our raspberry bush here that is going to go into its own large container, and it will be going into the container soon. Then we have our hanging plants again that we would need to know where we're going to be hanging each one of these. Now, not only that, in order to place into containers such as this without any holes, you have these containers here that do not have holes, except this is for your seeding here, or your starting of your seed plants. And once you get that, this is also biodegradable for outside use, and very good for the ground, so you don't have to worry about that. But those instruments that you want to use that do not have a hole in the bottom, and that you cannot put a hole into the bottom, the solution is to make sure that you put um, some type of rocks, um, sand, to go along with um, your soil. But what I use here is the charcoal, this organic charcoal that I use, and it goes down into the bottom of the um, pot. Sprinkle it on before. This gives, before you put in the soil, this gives the soil a chance, or the water, somewhere to go, versus just sitting in the bottom of the container, causing root rot, sorry. But so there's different things that you can put in the bottom. Also, little crystal lights here, stuff like that. These little things can serve as a great purpose at the bottom of your dirt, also at the top. But it helps to know some things. So it's important that you do some study on what you're doing. Now, this right here, we'll get into this here a whole lot later. But this is part of your fertilizer, which means this one bag right here, not one bag, but this thing holds like 24 single packages that it feeds every 7 to 14 days. Okay, and that helps too. Now, as soon as we get all of this here together, and started moving into the direction, um, I'll be letting you know what else that we're up to, and which direction that we will go to before getting into planning these things. So you will be all in the mix of the planning phase. So just give us a minute to put it together, and we shall see how beautiful this my patio is going to be in a few months, because this is just not an overnight journey. This is months and even years in placing things together. Now, I haven't gotten all of my flowers that will be um, dispersed all the way around the house. We do have some tulips coming up on the other side, and then that area right here with that tree right there, we will be putting something beautiful up in there. I'm not quite sure which flower set we will be putting in there, but we will be planting some flowers. Okay, so right now that just gives you a little bit of what we're going to do. Just know that if you do not get um, planters that already have holes in the bottom, that's okay. You can still use what is available at your source. Now, if you can drill a hole in the bottom of it, drill a hole in it. Now, last year I used plastic containers, and I used, let's see, where are they? If you can see down in here, I use a lot of the plastic containers. They're about 6 inches deep, and I'll pull them all out later. But as of now, this is our starting point. All right? And you have a wonderful, wonderful day.